Hmm. Hi everyone, it's me, Coffee Stitcher. It is Sunday afternoon. So here we am. Here we am. Ooh, that's good English. Here I am with my weekly update. Um, I've got 2 whip updates. Actually, I've got 3 whip updates. No new stash this week, but there will be more. More on that to come in a moment. Um, but I do have some updates, and then the November Oz theme. I know, right? So how's everybody? Good. Good. As you can see, I am back to drinking the Pepper of the Doctor, because of course I'm the true Texan. Ha, Katie. Ha. Alright, so when last I left y'all, I was getting ready to do my November part of the Screamhouse Stitch Along, and I had beating left to do on Octopus Treasure Garden. And then this month's theme in Stitch Mania is it's either 4Fs or 5Fs. It's fall, food, family, friends, fun. I think it's 5Fs, but family and friends maybe together. Yeah. Um, so Scream House was kind of the exception, but it technically is fall because it's Halloween. Octopus counted as fun and food. And then I'm currently working on Patchwork Pin Keep. So I finished my 2 roof pieces for Scream House, the cat and the crow. Um, so those 2 pieces are done. So what'll go next to it next month will be 2 more roof pieces, and then so December will be 2 more roof pieces, and then January I'll do the floor pieces on this one and the interior, and then I get to work on just the interior. So then eventually we're going to build this sucker, which that's honestly the most terrifying part of all. Um, that may be the part that actually makes me want to scream. Ah, see what I did there? Ah. At least somebody laughed. All right. So the next thing I do have is an update on Octopus. And I did all of the gold beads, and I started in on the clear beads and realized, because I was going to do them in numeric order, but I realized I really need the rest of the stuff to place in the number 2 beads. So then I started placing the number 3 beads, but I was like, I'm tired of beading, because beading is hard. So I did all of the gold outer filigree, the silver on that octopi, and the gold on Myrtle. So see, she looks like she has suckers, like an actual octopi. Um, and the cool thing about those gold ones, and I know it's not showing up too well here, and I don't really think there's a good way to capture it, but let's try this. Let's see if I bring this together, and I fold this up so I have just a little bit to work with, maybe. We'll bring it in. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to show up too well. But the really cool thing is they're sort of a matte gold, but if the light, it's like the inner part of it is gold, and then it's encased in like a clear thing. So depending on how the light catches it, it sometimes looks like they're glowing, which is really cool. Um, and then over here I started, and I've actually got a bead in the wrong place, and that's when I was just like, you know what, I'm kind of tired of beading. So there's that. And then good old Myrtle in the middle. Look at those beads! How cool is that? She looks like she has suckers. She looks like a real octopi, finally. So, that's where I'm at with her. Depending on how the week goes, honestly, I probably can finish the beading this week, because really there's just not a lot of beading to it. But, we'll see. But last week, that beading was a beating. I'm just full of the puns today. I'm just a punny kind of guy. Pause for laughter. Alright, so I guess next that brings us to Patchwork Pin Keep, which is having to be worked in a hoop, which has been interesting. Oh, that was actually something I discovered. Doing the hoop for the beading made it so much easier than trying to use a Q-snap or the scroll frame. So I bought a really big hoop, like it's bigger than my head, which really isn't saying much because the 4-inch hoop is really not much bigger, small, not that far off from being bigger than my head, but it does make for a nice hat. So Patchwork Pin Keep. If you remember, Patchwork Pin Keep was the first in the With a Little Help from My Friends stitching circle, and it's by Blackbird Designs, and that's what it looks like when it's finished. And this is how far I've gotten. I've been trying to do it like all of one color at a time, so that's where I'm at. When I started today, I had the red and the stem of the flower and the vast majority of the bucket done, and I've done all the rest of that today. So it's stitching up pretty quickly. It'll be what I work on full-time after I finish Octopi. But since my lighting is not the greatest over here, this is a much easier piece to work on. And I don't have to contend with beads and a dog that would eat the beads and the needle and probably anything else that he could get his hands on, because that's the kind of dog he is. But we do still love him. So this one, and this piece, it's got areas for its own customization. So I will be customizing it with our family names, and it's got a few little beads, which are really pretty. And it's got 2 different pieces of fabric. It's got parchment and straw, both in 32 count. This one's straw, this one's parchment, I think. I may have that backwards, but it doesn't really matter, I guess, in the long run. So I am hoping to have this finished by the end of the month. And I really don't see why I wouldn't. The big thing will be getting it actually assembled. So that's where I'm at on Patchwork Pin Keep. Like I said, I'm hoping to finish it this month. Alright, okay, before we go over the rainbow, this week is Veterans Day, which, first off, thanks to any and all veterans for everything you have done for our country or continue to do, because y'all are awesome. But, since I'm in banking, I get it off. So, what the Stash Queen, the Queen of Starts, and Brian and I have decided is we're going to meet at Stitch Niche and do a little shopping, do a little lunch. If there's time, we'll do a little stitching, and we're just going to have a stitchy day. So, I'm not planning to buy anything pattern-wise, simply because I don't really need any new patterns. I say that, I will probably leave with patterns. The 3 of you are in charge. I'm telling you now, so that all of the internet can hold you accountable. No patterns. Unless, and there is a keyword, an unless here, unless it is an Oz pattern that I don't have. But since I don't think any exist, there you go. But I do need to get a whole buttload of Kreinik and some fabrics, so that's going to kind of be my plan. It's fabrics and Kreinik, and possibly other flosses, because I like flosses. Flosses are fun. Alright, so this month's theme is going to be video games. Video/computer games. And it's going to focus on the ones, because there are a few out there that are on, like, the Game Fish and such like that, where they're just downloads, they don't make physical copies. So I won't be showing off them, obviously, because why would I talk about something you really can't see? Although there is a really fantastic one out there called Emerald City Confidential. If you like 40s detective-y, pulpy novel, film noir things, it's a lot of fun. Anyhow, so the first one out of the gate is actually the first Wizard of Oz computer game, which dates all the way back to 1985. And it was available on 3 different platforms: the Apple II, the Commodore 64, DOS, and MSX. So I guess technically that was 4 platforms. This one's the IBM one. So here it is. Lovely picture of the 4 friends on front and Emerald City. And it was a text-based game, so you had to sort of, as I understand it, you basically played through it, and there were text things. And there were some characters that carried over from the other books, and unfortunately... Okay, I guess it is. Okay, so... and it comes with this... Oh, here we go. Here are the This is the instruction book from 1985. So in-depth. It gives you all of the vocabulary. So basically what it looks like you did was you can explore Oz by entering certain vocabulary. Drawing a map of Oz during play may be also helpful as you discover new locations. You move about by you had to like say things like go south or go to the oak tree. You had to examine things like take the shoes, put the hat on Scarecrow, take the box, open the box. Magic charms could be cast by saying the word say. There were inventory. You had to speak with people. Like tell Glinda about Kansas. If you were confused, Tin Man, what next? So, yeah, and it has at least General Ginger and the Wogglebug and Mombi. They're all from Tip. They're all from the second book. They're all from Marvelous Land of Oz. Oh, and Jack Pumpkinhead. But then TikTok is here, and TikTok's from Ozma of Oz. So I don't really... And Tin Soldiers really didn't show up until there's a Tin Soldier in Tin Woodman of Oz. I don't know. A whole lot of stuff. I've never played it. The emulations for the game that exist... oh, hey, it's got its orange card. The emulators that exist for it, because it is on that Google thing that they did, because I guess there's a statute of limitations on when games can all be put online somehow or something like that. I don't know. But they all stall out after about 2 screens, it seems. So I've never been able to play it. Because, well, let's face it, I don't have anything that'll play these kinds of floppy disks. And it's an actual floppy disk. I don't think he's ever seen one of these.
What?
One of these, an actual floppy disk.
I thought floppy disks were those, like, rectangular box-looking things.
Yeah, no, those were the 3. Those were what they were by the time computers really started becoming available in the home, hardcore. But before that, they were literally floppy. Yep, that's where they got their name. They were physically floppy. Kind of like a dead octopus. So there you go. That's the verse. So here's a lovely little trip back to 1985 in the days when your computer was this big. Actually, I don't think they were ever that big, but, well, they might have been, but I don't think the home computers ever were. So there are a few more that are coming. There's 4. I have 4 games that I can show. 1 more for the computer, and 2 more that are actually console games. So that's what's coming. So there we have it. In case you didn't know, back in 1985, you could have played a Wizard of Oz computer game. And if anyone has ever actually played it and can tell me a little more about it, that would be awesome too. So anyhow, that's about all for today. So I will see y'all next week. Hopefully, maybe with a finish. We'll see. And then after Patchwork Penkeep, I have no clue what I'm going to work on. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So, anyhow, I will see you all next week, but I will definitely have Stash next week. Yay, Stash. So yeah, so have a great week, everybody, and I will see you all soon.